what we're going to look at today is what's involved with putting this is a brand new cylinder assembly in this compressor to get it back in the game. Welcome back to the workshop, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at a CS4i that's not feeling very well. As you can tell, the owner of this compressor really kept judicious records. Each piece of tape tells a tale of his deadhead tests. But I think he got into a habit of over lubricating this guy at some point, and that caused some issues with this compressor internally. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at what the service options are for the CS4. Now, friends, I traveled all the way to China. I actually witnessed the factory technicians taking this amazing cylinder apart right in front of me, and I said, man, that's going to be, there was a lot of specialized tools and things, and there's so many things that can go wrong. This is actually a 3-stage coaxial piston cylinder. There's 3 stages in here, and water cooling. The fact that it's all encapsulated in this is just astonishing to me. But anyway, what we're going to look at today is what's involved with putting this is a brand new cylinder assembly in this compressor to get it back in the game and get this guy flying pellets again. So here we go. One other thing I want to point out about these cylinders, they are not inexpensive. I mean, they're not as cheap as maintaining a CS2, CS3. They're not outworldly. I mean, for 225 bucks, you can get basically a whole new pump, except for the crankcase and the motor, which generally don't have any issues. So, you know, this is a more expensive service thing, but it's also ridiculously quick and easy to put in. Now, you do get a hardware kit. It's got a new poppet valve for the outlet here and the wrist pin that goes in place that we'll take a look at when we get into the guts of this guy. So let's crack this open and see what's up. Okay, with all of the black Phillips sheet metal screws removed and the fill whip disconnected, we're just going to pop this cover off. Before you touch this thing, make sure there's no air trapped in it. Make sure the vent is open. Make sure you've gotten rid of any power. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab this thermal cutoff switch right here. I'm going to disconnect that, and for this, the release is right here. Do not pull on the wires. When you separate this, pull on the housings. Very carefully pull that off. Now, this water connection here is got a hose clamp on it, so we'll need to undo that. Now, I am going to sneak this under a wire here just to keep it upright. Then on the back side here, we've got this push connector on this water line. Next thing we need to do is disconnect this output line. Okay, so this air outlet pipe is a 14 millimeter. Now this fitting does have 2 Dowdy seals, one here and one here. You do get new ones in the kit of parts, so I recommend putting new ones in. If you're particularly frugal, you can certainly save these old ones in case you have a failure in the future. But one thing you want to be really careful of is that on this fitting, try and roll this back right here, you can see this spring, and there is a tiny ball in there as well. Now, once the airline is done, we're going to go after these large compressor bolts. And they are also 14 millimeter. When you take these out, you should be mindful that you keep the washer stack with them. We've got pretty much everything mechanically disconnected from the cylinder. We're just going to kick it over to the side. Probably easiest to go away from the... that was funny. I don't know if you caught that on camera, but when I relaxed this, it actually pressurized and shot the ball. It shot that ball out across the shop when I moved the connecting rod. That's fine. What we really want to do now is focus right on one of these clips. And I'll try to get a better view of that here for you. Oh my gosh, is there a lot of grease in here? Yeah, these are the retaining rings right here. We just need to pull one off. You can use a pick or a screwdriver, whatever you've got handy to get that out of the way. And then once we pull that pin, this whole cylinder comes right off. And there we go. There's our cylinder. Okay, now on this, this is the old piston. This is the new one. The three things we're going to need to move over are the over temperature switch and the inlet. So, and the grease cup. We'll have to fill this. I'm going to start off with new grease for this guy. He's a good guy. And then and get this guy back in the game as quickly as possible. So we're just going to move these things over, and then we'll be good to go. Make sure when you pull this off, you get the little rubber piece out of here. Now sometimes these are kind of wrinkled and stuff. Don't worry about it. It's meant to act like a check valve to try and prevent you from over greasing the top end of this piston. This burst disc holder was open. Just going to check in there. Yep, it's got a burst disc in there. Make sure you snug this up before you trust that the factory did that for you. Again, it's the same 14 millimeter socket. Just give it a little squish. Now this is the inlet, so there's obviously no pressure here. There's no sealant on this. It doesn't really need it. It's just kind of its whole job in life is just to guide air into the pump. And then the over temperature switch. Now this does have some thermal compound, and I'm going to try and save some of this. You want to make sure you've got a good thermal connection here, because this is going to save your pump if you don't check your water flow or your pump fails, this is going to protect your investment. Be mindful when you're cranking on the screw that you just need it to be snug to the aluminum. You need to make sure you got good contact there, but don't crush it, otherwise you'll break this. Then you'll be sad. In the kit, I've got the wrist pin here. Okay, I've got the pin lined up. Actually, I'm going to come in the other way because that makes more sense. That one's more challenging to see. Oh, you know what? I'm going to lubricate this with my red grease. Okay. Now we've got that back in. Now we just need to get the other Jesus clip on there, and we're almost home free. And there you have it. And there we have it. We are almost there. We're rounding home. Going to get these large bolts back in. Make sure that you finger tighten. Start all of these threads in a way that you've got some feedback. Don't go sticking power tools on here, because if you don't have really good feel, you can make this go wrong really quick. Just make sure you get your threads going. Started well, lined up, not cross-threaded. Okay, now we can just run these 4 down. Not going to tighten one. I'm just going to bring them all close. And then we're going to start walking them down. We don't want to tighten one with the other ones being loose, because that is a bad thing for a mechanic of any skill level to do. Okay, so I'm just bringing these snug. Then I'm going to do a nice pattern here. These aren't holding pressure, so don't worry about that. There's no seal on these. You just need a nice uniform tension on them. And the only thing left now is to reconnect our water lines. For clarification, the water line here is just a push on. The water line here The water line here is just a hose clamp. There we go. Again, don't stress the wires, pull on the connector. Now I am taking the ball and the new dowdy seals and the new spring out of this bag because they're all going to go in right now. Now the ball, I'm just going to take a little bit of silicone grease on my driver here. Put on the ball. And then I'm going to get this down in right in position where it's meant to go. This is the check valve for the outlet. So if you can refresh it while you're doing this, it is time well spent. I'm going to take one of my new dowdy seals. Put that on. I'm going to take a little bit more of my silicone grease for O-rings. Put on the seals. I'm also going to put a little bit on this spring just to keep it in position. Here's the other new dowdy seal. A little bit more of our silicone grease on that side of the dowdy seal. Now this guy can be challenging to get the thread back in because of the bend on this pipe. It's a little springy. Again, make sure you get your thread started by hand before you put your tools on, because the tools can make this go wrong really fast. Okay, snug that down. And we are alive and vibrant here. We should be pretty much near the end of this. I'm going to get the cover back on, and then we'll get this guy fired up and do a new deadhead test and see if we fixed it. Okay, you can see we've got a deadhead in our fill whip. I'm going to pop the fill whip on. Get our wires hooked up. Make sure we got water flow. Yep. He really needs a light kit on this. Would make this unit really nice. He does have my hour meter on it, but he said he doesn't mind checking this. All right, valve is open. He's got it set to 300 bar, so it's just a little over 4,000. Let's get the pump going. Close that up. And this guy is trucking. Yeah, this guy's doing very well. I'll put the time up from the video. But yeah, that's it, man. We're there like that. That's excellent. Couldn't be happier. This has been a really good service of the CS4. I'm stoked. So that cylinder change out did the trick and got this guy back in service. Remember, guys, be very gentle with the grease. Don't just keep cranking grease in there. once every 6 hours or 12 hours, somewhere in there, is really all you need. Don't overgrease, otherwise the trail of woe will be upon you. Anyway, I'm going to give this guy a call and get him his machine back. Thanks for watching, everybody. You all have a great week, and it was a joy having you back here in the shop. Hey, do me a favor, do subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Be a light in the darkness, and have a great week.